Hello students, welcome back. This side Pushpen Singh Rajawat and I here welcome you all in the lecture number 2 of synthetic clothing materials and polymer chapter, which is chapter first of your class 8. So students, we have seen the rayon and the nylon in the previous lecture. So today in today's lecture we are going to see here the polyester, the acrylic, the spandex, the corset. These all are the synthetic clothing material. Now here, apart from that, we are going to see here the blended fibers, that what is the meaning of the blended fibers, and then we'll be moving into the advantages and the disadvantages of the synthetic fabrics. So here this lecture is all about the synthetic fibers and synthetic fabrics. So students, let us start with the first, that is the polyester. So students, as the name suggests, it is what? It is a polyester. So it means that it is a repeating unit of the ester, and ester is formed by the reaction between alcohol and the carboxylic acid. So here we are going to see how the ester is being formed and how the ester join together in the polymerization reaction to give rise to a polymer which is named as a polyester. So students, polyester is what? It is a synthetic fiber derived from the coal, air and the water and petroleum. As I have already told you, these are derived from the petrochemicals. Developed in the 20th century, laboratory polyester fibers are formed from a chemical reaction between an acid and an alcohol. So here we are going to see how the acid and alcohol react to give rise to the ester. Esters are what, student? Esters are the sweet smelling substances that you are going to study in your class 10th carbon and its compound in detail. Now here we are not interested in making of the ester, we are interested here in the making of the polyester. Now in this reaction, two or more molecules combine to form a larger molecule whose structure repeats throughout its length. Why it is repeating, students? Because it is a polymer, and in the polymer the monomer units are repeating itself to a very long length. That is why their molecular masses are very high. So seeing here, students, that is polyester is made up of the repeating units of a chemical called the ester, which has a fruit like smell. Now remember this. So students, if we talk about here the acid and alcohol, so when the acid and alcohol combines, they give rise to what? They give rise to the ester. And here the ester, when combined, that is if I have taken n esters and after the polymerization reactions, here what we get, here we will be getting what? That is the ester which is connected, and total n number of molecules are connected. So here this is what? This is termed as the polyester, because it has formed what? It has formed the polymer. So students, just for you, have a look over here, that if we have taken here the black A representing what? The A is representing the acid, while alcohol is being represented with what? That is the red, which is B. So here I am representing what? An acid with A and alcohol with the B. So this is forming what? When they react together, this is forming what? This is forming an ester. While in this case, what we are going to see in the polyester, we will be seeing the repeating units of the ester, in which the ester is repeating. It means that A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B, they are repeating itself, just like here you can see, that is A, 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 A. Completing this, that is it is connected with B, it is connected with B, and so on. So students, what you see over here, that these are what? These are the repeating units, in which this whole unit, that is AB, is simply termed as the ester. This is the ester here. You cannot term it as an acid or the alcohol, because they have chemically reacted, and in the chemical reaction the product form has the properties entirely different from those of its reactants. So here the ester is having the different properties as those from the acid and alcohol. So you cannot identify here that which one is acid or which one is alcohol, because here this whole unit is the ester, and this is what? This is the repeating unit in the polyester. So students, I hope the polyester part is clear. So now let us move and see here the uses of the polyester. So polyester is used in what? Polyester, you can see here, it is used in making the fabrics, and about the 60% of the materials that we use in our daily life are made, that is the clothing materials, are made from the polyester, starting from the lower to the t-shirts to the shirts, ties, and etc. So these all are made from the polyester. Now, students, plastic is also made from the polyester, but we are going to see that in the next lecture. So here, let us see here some of the properties of the polyester. So polyester properties, that is, it absorbs very little water and hence dry quickly after washing. So this is the best property of the polyester, that it absorbs very little water, and since it is absorbing very little water, so it dries very quickly after the washing. The second property, that it is very strong, lightweight and elastic fabric. Here talking about the strongness, that is the tensile strength, its tensile strength is not as much as equal to that of the nylon. Nylon has the highest tensile strength from all of these, that is from the acrylic, polyester, rayon, corrosyl, spandex, etc. So here it is strong, lightweight and elastic fabric. Now moving to the next property, that is it resists wrinklings, because here talking about these, that is the polyester, they do not wrinkles and springs back into the shape when creased. So this is also a very important and useful property, that they do not wrinkle easily. Most polyester fabrics have excellent wash and wear characteristics, and therefore they require the minimum care. So overall, all the points we have concluded in this last one, that is they have the excellent wash and wear characteristics, due to which they require the minimum caring. So these are the about the properties of the polyester. Now moving into the next, where you can see here the uses of the polyester. So you can see the polyesters are used in making the saris, the curtains, the dresses. So as I have already told you, that more than 60% of our daily clothing material are made from the polyesters. So here just reading, that is polyester fibers are widely used in the textile industries for making the variety of textiles such as the saris, dresses, materials, curtains and etc. Now this is about the one use. Moving to the next one, that is here the terry wool. I'm going to tell you what is the meaning of terry wool. This is a blended fabric which we'll be reading here in the upcoming slides, that the terry wool, which is a blend of the terylene and a type of polyester wool, which is used for making what? Suit. So here you can see, students, if I talk about the polyester, so the most common polyester is what? The most common polyester and widely used polyester is the terylene. It is the terylene, and this is what? This is the polyester. It is made from what? It is made from the terephthalic acid. It is made from the terephthalic acid and ethylene glycol. So these are what? These are the acid and the alcohol respectively. So when they react together, they are going to form what? They are going to form the terylene molecule, and in the polymerization reaction, the terylene polymer is going to form, which is named as the terylene polymer, or simply the most widely used polyester. So sometimes polyester may also be referred to as the terylene. So here this is what? This is the acid, as I have told you, or the A part, and this is the alcohol, which is the B part. So here you can see here that this is what? Ter has come from this acid part, and here the lean is come from this part. So here in this name, students, you can also see the combination of the acid as the and the alcohol. So this is the terylene, and it is the most widely used polyester. So that is why sometimes the polyester may also be referred to as the terylene. Now students, what is here is given here? The terry wool is given. It means that here it is a blended fabric. So what are the blended fabrics? Blended fabrics we are going to see in the upcoming slides, but just for you, blended fabrics are those fabrics in which both the characteristics of the fibers are there. They are not chemically reacting together, they are simply knitted or weaved together in order to increase the overall characteristics of the fabric. So here you can see the terylene is added with the wool part. So since terylene is having some elastic properties, while wool will be having some other characteristics, so they are what? They are combining these characteristics for the making of suits. Now here you can also see the terry coat. So here As the name suggests, this has been made from the terylene and the cotton. It is what? It is a blend of a terylene and the cotton, is commonly used for making the skirts, shirts and other dress materials. Because talking about the polyester, polyester is not as comfortable to wear as cotton. Cotton is more comfortable than polyester. So here we have made what we have making here, the terrycot. It is sometimes also called as the polycot. Now moving to the next, students, that is, it is a lightweight and strong. So this property makes it suitable for the making of the lightweight sails of the boats. Here you can see these lightweight sails. These are made from what? These are made from the polyester. So this is another use of the polyester, that is, since it is strong and lightweight, it is used for making the lightweight sails of the boats. Now moving to the next, here you can see that in the conveyor belts, polyester is also used. Here in the cassettes and in the floppy disks, the polyester is used. So here the terylene is used for making the conveyor belts and is very elastic. So since it is very elastic in nature, so it is also used in making the conveyor belts. Here polyester films that are commonly known as the mylar. So here students, you have another name for the polyester, that is mylar, is sometimes also referred to as the polyester. So polyester films, they are commonly known as the mylar. They are used for making the magnetic recording tapes in the audio cassettes. Nowadays these cassettes are not available, but here you can see in the magnetic recording, this film is made from the polyester, that is commonly known as the mylar. Now here it is also used in the video cassettes and in the floppy disk. So in the making of the floppy disk, polyester is also widely used. So now students, before moving into the next slide, just remember these names, that is the mylar, Dacron. The Dacron is also the name that we use for the mylar. So this is also what? This is a terylene polyester. And remember, if I talk about the terylene, mylar, Dacron, these all are what? These all are the polyester. So now students, let us move into the advantages of polyester. So these are what? These are highly strain resistant. So they do not strain whenever we use them, and this is why they require the minimum care. Now the second is what? They are quickly drying. We can use the polyester fabrics and we can wash them daily on the daily basis. So these are what? These are, they can dry very quickly. So in the summers and winters, we don't have to worry about the polyesters because they can dry very easily. Now moving to some other advantages, students, that is they are wrinkle resistant, that is they do not wrinkle easily. So there is no need to iron them every day. The last is what? That is they are inexpensive. Here the inexpensive doesn't mean that they are very cheap. The inexpensive means that they are inexpensive as compared to the other synthetic clothing material which having such characteristics. So these are about the advantages, in which we have seen that these are inexpensive, wrinkle resistant, they dry quickly, and they are highly strain resistant. So now students, let us move into the disadvantages of the polyester. So talking about the disadvantages, students, just remember they are unbreathable. Just like if we talk about the cotton, cotton is a breathable fabric. So if we have the cotton shirt that is more comfortable, we can use that in summers because the cotton can absorb our sweat and make us cool due to the process of evaporation. But here that is not the case with the polyester, because the polyester do not absorb the sweat. So the sweat simply stick between the fabric and our body, and that part is somewhat irritating in the summer season. So here this is unbreathable fabric. Talking about, it is highly flammable. If it catches fire, students, it burns with a large flame. The next is what? That is it is non-hypoallergic. So since these are what? These are some of the disadvantages. Just remember these disadvantages for the polyester. So now students, let us move into the acrylic. So students, acrylic, you can see over here, these are what? If you can identify them, they may be wool, but here these are not the wools, these are the synthetic fibers acrylic, which resembles that of the wool. So if we talk about the wool fibers and wool fabrics are somewhat fluffy, but here on seeing that they are not fluffy and they make a very good clothing material. So just talk about the acrylic here. So students, Acrylic fibers are what? These are the synthetic fibers that are made from the polymer, that is the polyacrylonitrile, and this is made from the monomers, that is the acrylonitrile. So when the acrylonitrile polymerize, they give rise to the polyacrylonitrile, which is the acrylic. Here we are using the acrylic in the form of fibers. We can also use them in the form of sheets, that is in the plastic materials. Here, moving to the second point, that is acrylic fabric closely resembles to that of the wool in its properties. Remember this part, students. Acrylic fibers are also known as the Orlone or the acrylion. So these are the names that are given to the acrylic fibers, that is the Orlone and the acrylion. So just see here the properties, that it is warm, soft, light and flexible fiber. Acrylic yarn can be easily knitted. It is very cheaper than that of the natural wool and is available in the variety of the colors. As you have seen in the previous slides, that they can be available in the variety of colors because coloring and dyeing for the synthetic fiber are very easy process. Now the next is what? They are resistant to the damage by the moth and the chemicals, and they are highly resistant to the sunlight also. So these are what? These are some properties of the acrylic. Just revise them all. That is, they are warm, soft, light and flexible fiber. They can be easily knitted by the acrylic yarn. They are cheaper and can be available in the variety of colors. And the next is what? That they are resistant to the damage by the moth. Here the moth do not attack them, and the chemicals, because they are highly resistant to the, and they are also highly resistant to the sunlight. So students, these are about some of the properties. Now talking about the uses of the acrylic. So the acrylic fiber is used for making the sweaters, socks and shawls. So remember this part, as they resemble to wool in its property, so they are having the wool like characteristics also. So just they are used for making what? That is the sweaters, socks and shawls. If you have seen the sweaters or the shawls which are very fine, that means that it is not made from the wool, it is made from the acrylic. Now it is used for making the carpets and the blankets. Now next is what? They are also used for making the car tops, board covers, filtration material. So remember these uses for the acrylic. So now students, moving to the next, that is the spandex. So as you can see here students, that the spandex is what? That is the stretchable fabric. You can stretch the fabric, and if you have seen the stretchable fabric, that surely has spandex in them. So these are used in making what? These are used in making the tight suit for the body, and they are stretchable in nature. So this is about the spandex. So spandex is what? Spandex is a lightweight synthetic fiber that is used to make stretchable clothing such as the sportswear. It is made up of a long chain polymer called the polyurethane. So remember students this name, simply this part is important. So you have seen here, these are what? These are the lightweight and they are the stretchable clothing material. That is why most of the sportswear are made from the spandex. Here you can see that they are the long chain polymer that is termed as the polyurethane. Now here talking about the spandex is known as what? That is the lycra. So lycra is the most widely used in the blending of the fabrics. So lycra or elastane. So these are what? These are also known as the spandex. That is the another word for spandex, that is the lycra or the elastane. Now moving to the next point, that is these fibers are having the excellent elasticity. The high elasticity of these fibers make them suitable for the use in the clothes that require the snug fitting. So very tight fitting is required and is achieved by the spandex. If we talk about the swimming costumes are also made from the spandex clothing material. So now students, moving to the uses of the spandex. So here it is used in making the swimming costumes, caps, t-shirts, women wearing leggings, wrestlers wearing, and etc. Spandex is mixed with, here it is mixed with means that it is blended with. So here it is mixed with other fibers such as cotton to get the stretch fabrics which are used to make the t-shirts and the caps. So here we are making what? We are making the blending of the fibers for making the blended fabrics. So we are going to see the blended fabrics after reading the next one, that is the Corosil. So students, talking about the Corosil, here you can see the Corosil are what? These are the airtight and waterproof. So these are the airtight and waterproof material. So Corrosil is waterproof as well as the air proof. It has a trade name of the high polymer of vinyl chloride. So vinyl chloride is what? Vinyl chloride is used for making the PVC, that is the polyvinyl chloride, which is commonly used plastic. So here with that we also made what? The Corrosil, that is it is a trade name for the high polymer of the vinyl chloride, and since it has been made from the vinyl chloride, it is simply waterproof as well as the air proof. Now see over here some uses for it, that it is used for coating the fabrics of the silk, rayon or cotton. Here why we are coating here the silk? Because silk is expensive, and these are what? That is silk and cotton, these are the natural fibers, so they are attacked by the moths. Now it is used for the coating of these fabrics to make them waterproof. The second part, that is waterproof fabrics so obtained, can be used on the rainy days or as the bathroom curtains and the wall covering. So they are used as the bathroom curtains and as the wall coverings also. So students, this is about the Corrosil. Now moving to the next category, which is the blended fiber. So here the blended fibers are created when two or more different kind of fibers are mixed together to create a new fabric with a unique properties. Just for an example students, if I am having here the cotton and the polyester. So here the cotton fiber is represented with these red lines. So these are what? These are the cotton fibers, and here they are mixed with what? They are mixed with the polyester fibers, and the polyester fibers are what? That are represented with the black line. So here I am representing the polyester fibers. Now if we are going to make the fabric, I am simply making here the fabric. So here you can see in this fabric, you can see closely that you are obtaining both the red as well as the black fibers. So they are going to make what? They are going to make a fabric, and this type of fabric contains the properties of both, that is the cotton as well as the polyester, thereby removing the disadvantages of each of them. That is, if I talk about the cotton, cotton wrinkles very easily, we have to ironing it's very fast. Now if we talk about the polyester, polyester do not wrinkles, we do not need ironing the polyester. So when we take here the blended fiber that is made from the cotton and polyester, so we'll be getting here the blended fiber as the polycot. So polycot is that blended fiber which requires very little ironing because it wrinkles very little due to the polyester. So that is how the characteristics of the fabric is increased by blending them. Now students, just simply reading again this, that is the blended fabrics are created when two or more different kinds of fibers are mixed together to create a new fabric with the unique properties. Now moving to the next point, that is more often a synthetic fiber is mixed with the natural fiber. Two similar fibers, for example both natural fibers, may also be mixed to form the blended fabrics. But here students, when we talk about the natural fiber, they have some disadvantages, while talking about the polyester, that is the synthetic fiber, they have some advantages. So when we are going to mix them, we will be getting the advantages of this fiber and the advantages of this fiber. That is why they are most oftenly mixed with the, that is the natural fibers are mixed with the synthetic fibers. So now students, let us move over here to the example. So in the example students, you can see the fiber, that is the polyester and the cotton are mixed. So since here the polyester and cotton are mixed, so here the name of this blended fiber is the polycot. Now if the polyester and the wool are mixed together, so here since the most common polyester is the terylene, so the name is the terry wool. So the terry wool is what? Terry wool is the blended fibers. The next is what? That is the cotton and wool. When the cotton and wool are mixed together, you have seen this in the advertisements that they are having what? They are termed as the coats wool. So the coats wools are used as an inner in the winter seasons because they are very fine, they are very comfortable for the body, and they traps the body heat. So students, this is about the blended fiber. So now moving into the next slide, and see over here That is when we are making the blended fibers that are made from the natural and the synthetic fibers, because they have their advantages and their disadvantages of their own. Just for an example, see over here students, that is the natural fibers are comfortable to wear as they retain the moisture and they are breathable. However, they are not very strong. This point you need to remember. These are about what? These are about the natural fibers. They also shrink when washed and are readily attacked by the moth. So these are what? These are some of the advantages and some of the disadvantages of the natural fibers. And when we see about the synthetic fibers, that is synthetic fibers are very strong. They do not shrink and are resistant to the moth attack, though they are not very comfortable to wear. So when we make the blended fibers by the natural and by taking the synthetic fibers, we'll be getting the advantages of the both and removing the disadvantages. So here, hence the best fibers are obtained by blending the two types of fibers, which combine the advantages of the both and free from their disadvantages. So students, this was all about the blended fibers. Now it's time to move into the next, that is about the advantages of the synthetic fabrics. So talking about the advantages of the synthetic fabric students, so here most synthetic fibers can handle heavy loads without breaking. So the synthetic fibers are strong than the natural fibers, although it is not as strong as the silk fiber, but some of the synthetic fibers are even stronger than the silk. So here you can see that ability to withstand load is due to the property called the tensile strength. So we can say that they have high tensile strength. Now talking about the next synthetic fibers, here till now we have studied about all the synthetic fibers that are present in your syllabus, that is starting from the nylon, polyester, spandex, acrylic and corrosive. So the second is point, that is the most synthetic fibers are elastic. So talking about the elasticity students, you have seen that the elasticity refers to the ability of a material to regain its original shape after it has been stretched or compressed, just like the spandex, that is the most elastic fiber that we have seen in all of them. The next is what? That is the most synthetic fibers do not wrinkle easily. This property makes them widely used as a clothing material because they do not wrinkle easily and they do not require the creasing. So here the people find them convenient to wash and wear. In addition to these properties, synthetic fibers drawn from the spinneret can be made with a very fine and very thin. Thus, the texture of the synthetic fibers produced is generally soft. Now, moving to the next, that is they are less expensive and are readily available in the market. So, synthetic fibers are what? Synthetic fibers are less expensive and they are readily available in the market because they can be produced in the industries at any demand. So students, these are about what? These are about the advantages of the synthetic fibers. Now seeing here some of the disadvantages of the synthetic fiber. So the most synthetic fibers can absorb a very little moisture, just you have seen in the nylon, in the polyester, they absorb very little moisture. So this becomes sticky when the body sweat during the summer seasons. On the other hand, most natural fibers absorb the moisture readily. As a result, when we sweat, the sweat is not trapped between the fiber and the skin. It is simply present between the fiber and the skin, and it is causing the stickiness to our skin. So it keeps on evaporating from the fiber and we feel that our skin can breathe. This is about the natural fibers. That is, when we have natural fibers on our body, they take the sweat from our body and release it into the atmosphere by the process of evaporation. But that is not the case with the synthetic fibers. So the sweat simply sticks between the body and the fiber, that is the fabric that we have wear on. So they are causing what? They are causing the problem. So that is why they are uncomfortable during the summer seasons. Now moving to the second point, that most synthetic fiber melts very easily, thus they should not be worn during while working in the kitchen or in the laboratory. So you have seen that the nylon melts when it catches the fire, and we are also going to see in the upcoming slides that what happens, that when we expose the particular fiber, that is either of the polyester or of the nylon or of the cotton, when it is exposed to light, they are exposed to the fire, how it burns, either it melts or it burns with some flame. So depending upon this, most of the synthetic fibers, they generally melt. So while working in the kitchen or in the laboratory, if but just by case any accident happens, so here they melt and stick to the skin, so that would be very problematic. So students, apart from these, if we talk about on the ironing, that in some of the synthetic fibers we require ironing, because some require very less ironing, some do not wrinkles. But if we have to iron the synthetic fabrics, so we need to keep in mind, that is, we have to very carefully iron them, because on ironing they might melt. So these are some of the disadvantages of the synthetic fibers. Now students, moving into the next slide and see over here the structure of various fibers. So here some of the fibers are given to you, and here their structure is given. Students, from this part questions are asked in the NSO examinations. Here remember this part also, that is how they are either smooth or rough to touch, that how do they intimate the feel. So if I talk about the cotton fiber, students, cotton fibers are short, uneven, folded and have a porous structure. And if we talk about here, that how do they feel, that is they are rough in the touching, that when we touch them we feel some roughness in the cotton fibers. Now talking about the wool, wool is short, uneven, folded and porous structure, same as that of the cotton. When we see here that how they are, when we touch them they are also generally rough, students. Now moving to the silk, students. So silk is a long fiber, silk is even, it is straight and it is very fine. Now here you all know the properties of the silk, so here they are very smooth in the touching, that is why we always said that the silk touch, because here the touch of the silk is very smooth. Now if I talk about nylon, students, so nylon and polyesters are what? These are the synthetic fibers. So nylon is a long, even, straight and fine fiber, because they are made from the very small hole of a spinneret, and when we touch them they are also smooth in the touching. Talking about the polyester, students, they are also long, even, straight and fine structure, and are also smooth in the touching. So these are what? These are some of the fibers which you can also see in this diagram. Here this is the cotton fiber, this is the silk fiber, this is the polyester fiber, which you can see here that this is shiny in nature, also the nylon, which is also shiny in nature, and they are also very smooth in the touching. Here we can see the wool. Wool may look like that it would be very smooth, but it is generally rough as that of the cotton. So now students, let us move over to the next slide and see here an activity. So what kind of activity we are going to see here? We are going to see here, that is the flame test on the different kind of fibers, that how the different kind of fibers behave when we put them on the flame. So let us start and see over here this activity. So now here students, let us see that talking about the cotton, so these are the properties of the cotton, that it burns and it does not melt, it smells like that of the burning paper. So here students, when we burn the cotton over here, it simply burn all of it, it does not leave any residue. So this is what, this is about the cotton fiber. Now moving to the next and see here for the flax. So flax doesn't melt, it smells like that of the burning paper or the wood, and residues fine gray ash. So when you burn here the flax fiber, you can see here that it burns and it does not leave any residue, only a very small residue is there, which is grayish in color, and it smells like that of the burning paper, because they are made from the wood part. Now moving to the next, that is the wool. So the wool burns, it doesn't melt, it is strongly smells that of the burning hair or the feathers, because it is what, it is a polyamide. So when we burn the wool, it simply burns as that of the smell given off by the burning hair. So see here that it also leaves a residue. Now students, moving and test for some another fiber over here. So let us see here for the silk. So silk burns and it doesn't melt, it smells like that of the burning hair or the feather. And talking about the residue, it also leaves a residue. See over here students, that on burning the silk fiber, here it is forming what, it is forming a blackish gray color residue. So Talking about cotton, cotton burns with a very bright flame, while here these silk, wool, they do not burns with a very bright flame. So looking for the rayon student, so it is what? It is made from the regenerated cellulose, so it burns same as that of the burning paper, that is, it is giving the smell as that of the burning paper. So here you can see the it has completely disappeared without leaving very small residue. So now moving to the next fiber, that is the polyester. So this is also synthetic and it shrinks from the heat. This part you need to remember, it smells like the chemical. So here this is the polyester fabric. When we burn it, you can see here that it shrinks away and it catches fire with the difficulty, and it burns with a smell of the burning of the chemicals. So here you all know that polyester is what? Polyester is a repeating units made from the ester, and ester is a sweet smelling substance. Now let us move over to the next one, that is for the nylon. So nylon shrinks from the heat and it melts. So students, you can see here that how the nylon melts away from the flame. So now moving to the next fiber, that is the acrylic. So here students, talking about the acrylic, that how the acrylic behaves when we put it into the flame. So acrylic shrinks from the heat and melts and burn. So here students, you can see that when we put here the acrylic fiber, it simply shrinks away from the flame and it melts. It does not catches fire easily. So here this is about the acrylic fiber. Now students, we have studied here so many fibers. Now simply watch this video and write the notes that are given over here. I hope students you have written all the notes. Now students, moving to the next slide, that is about the study of the relative tensile strength of different fibers. So here we are going to see the tensile strength of the different fibers. So starting with the different kind of fibers, students, and here sees what the things that we require. Here we are talking for the cotton, silk, nylon and the wool, and some weight we need here, so that we can check here that which fiber is going to withstand how much load. So students, just simply making the arrangement with the stand, and to the stand we have to put the weight in the fiber. So here we have tied all the fibers from the cotton, silk and all that we have taken over here, and simply put here these pans. So these pans are of the equal weight, these fibers are of the equal cross section and of the equal length. Now here we have to put what? We have to put here the weights one by one in all of them till the fiber does not break. So on putting here the weights, you can see here that when we put here the weights, just for an example here, the fiber got stretched, and if the tensile strength is not enough for this fiber, the fiber simply going to break over here. So when we put here the equal weight, it means that they can withstand that much kind of load over here. And when we are going to increase, we can see here the fiber is going to break. So that the fiber that has been broken is starting from the cotton. So you can see here the cotton can withstand 3 blocks of weight, wool can withstand 4 blocks of weight, silk 5 blocks and nylon 8 blocks of weight of the equal weight. So here talking about the tensile strength, so maximum pulling force is of the material before it deforms or breaks. So here when arranging all the fibers in the increasing order or in the decreasing order, you can see here that nylon is having the maximum tensile strength as compared to the other fibers. So nylon is having the maximum, the second comes for the silk, and then the wool, and then comes the cotton. So here these are the tensile strength for all the fibers. Now students, moving to the next slide, that is about the assignment. So talking about the assignment, students, in the objective type questions you have to do question 1 to 10. Just a bit information for you, our module is divided into 3 exercises, that is exercise 1, 2 and 3. Exercise 1 contains subjective as well as the objective type questions which are given as the assignment for you to do, so that all the concepts that you have studied in the lecture has been revised. In the exercise number 2, these are important questions which are of that level that come in the examinations, while exercise 3 have those questions that have already come in the examinations, just like the NSO examinations. So here you have to practice and solve all the questions that are present in the objective type questions of exercise number 1, that is from 1 to 10. In the subjective part you have to do, that is question 1 to 5. Now students, simply ending this lecture over here. In the next lecture we are going to discuss about the plastic and how the plastics are made, what are the different kinds of plastics and all that stuff. So till then students, practice all the questions and thank you all.